YouTube channel. Diane, hello, welcome. So glad you're here. So good morning, good morning. I'm so excited about today's session, and I'm going to delve into it in just 1 second and give you a sense of what we're going to be doing. Before we delve in, I just want to put something out there. This is a quick, I guess, request or so that I have. I'm going to, 1 second, yeah. I'm going to put in the chat again, all my contact information and everything. If you want to follow me again on social media, you can do that. I'm going to send out more, resources, as you know. I also put the link to my YouTube channel for 2 reasons. The first is if any of your friends cannot watch the webinars, but you think that they can get value from seeing them, like if they can't see it during the times we're doing it, but they can get value from it, you think, send them to that channel and let them check it out, because it has, I think, a lot of good value. And on a personal side, maybe a little bit of a selfish note, and my inner critic, you can tell my inner critic, or as Nicole Steward taught me, I call it the itty bitty shitty committee. But that's not mine, that's Nicole's. I'm stealing it from her. It's like telling me right now that I'm like really selfish for asking it, but I'm going to do it anyways, because usually my inner critic is wrong and just sabotages me. So I am so close to getting 100 subscribers in my YouTube channel. And when you get 100 subscribers, you can customize the name of the YouTube channel. And I'd love to customize it. So if you like the YouTube channel and you feel like you're getting a lot of value from it, all you have to go to this link, click on it, subscribe, and that's just going to get me a little closer, and let your friends know about it too. All right, so, oh, that's awesome. Thank you, Colleen, you're amazing. Thanks for subscribing. All right, so without further ado, I want to delve into today, because it is, we're going to have a treat. Today, I have the pleasure to introduce to you to our guest speaker, Nicole Steward. And I want to tell you a little bit about Nicole before she takes over. So I had a chance to meet Nicole, I think it was, I want to say 4 or 5 years ago, maybe at this point, right? And we met actually at a restaurant when we went through other educators that we knew. And immediately, as soon as she started talking, and like, you know how you get moments where you connect with people and they say things and you're like, totally. And like, you completely relate to what they're saying. You build off of their stuff, and it's just this like synergy, and it's just like, I felt that immediately with her. And it just felt so good to just find another soul who like completely walks the walks and speaks my language, and that I can relate to so much. Nicole, I think, not only espouses but embodies what she teaches so beautifully, and specifically caring for caregivers. Like, I don't know anyone who has had such a laser focus on supporting caregivers with their own wellness. She's just phenomenal at what she does. And that's why, every time I get a chance, I invite her to join me in my webinars, in my live events, because she's just amazing. And I want to read you her bio, because in and of itself is really impressive. So Nicole Steward is a social worker, MSW, a homeless foster youth liaison. She's a certified yoga instructor with a focus on community engagement, public education, and trauma-informed yoga. With more than 2 decades of social work practice in nonprofits and accountability work in K-12 education, Nicole has noticed the need for a trauma-informed lens in the worlds of social services and education to better help us understand the needs of those we serve. Nicole also believes in self-care, self-care is a radical tendency we must adopt if we are to discharge the toxic stress we observe through our work and sustain ourselves as service providers, educators, and human beings. In addition to her day job, Nicole teaches yoga, mindfulness, and offers trauma-informed self-care workshops and retreats. A quote that drives her forward, and I love this quote, in her work, is by Layla Watson. And the quote is, if you have come to help me, you are wasting your time. But if you have come because your liberation is bound up with mine, then let's work together. And so with that, I'm really excited to introduce to you Nicole Steward. And I'm going to unmute you, Nicole, and you can take over.
All right. Thank you so much, Roni. I really appreciate that lovely introduction. And I also remember when we met and I felt the same way. I was like, yeah, he speaks the language. He's not looking at me like I have a third head. Well, a second head, I guess, would be weird too. So it's wonderful to be with you all this morning. Thank you all for checking in. Might be afternoon for some of you, depending on where you are in the world. And thank you again, Roni, for the invite to join this wonderful group. So for our time together today, I wanted to offer a little bit of kind of an eye and neck release. I don't know about everyone's situation. I know we're all kind of stuck at home, but I don't know if some of you are still working. But even if you're not working, like if we are working, we're connecting to Zoom a lot. If you're not working, you might be still connecting to Zoom or Skype to stay in touch with family. You know, you might be helping your kids with distance learning or doing distance learning yourself, either as a teacher or as a student, or you're just doing your Netflix and chill. But we're just in front of screens a lot more right now. At least for myself, I'm noticing, you know, a lot more screen time. So I'm getting some eye strain and some neck strain, and it's kind of impacting my mornings and my evenings as well. So I wanted to offer a little exercise for you all to help us release some eye tension. And then with the remaining time, I'd like to offer a meditation to help us work on, there's a concept that I shared a lot through the EQ schools trainings, this concept that we can care for people without carrying the weight of them. And what I mean by that is, you know, for many of us who are, whether we're educators, we're helpers, we're healers, we're change makers, maybe we're parents or caregivers in some other way, that's a lot on us. And because we tend to be, those of us who are in those spaces tend to be very empathetic and very caring, we take on a lot. And we tend to carry a lot for other folks. And that is beautiful and wonderful, but it wears us down, right? The load is heavy, whether we carry it well or not, and it still impacts us. So this concept of being able to care for people without carrying them, really being able to show them the love and commitment that we have to them, but maybe not take their stories home with us, maybe not do more work for them than they would do for themselves, right? Being able, again, to care without caring. So we'll do a little meditation for that. So for the eye release practices, just sit up nice and tall in your chair, or if you're on the floor, that's fine. Go ahead and bring the feet flat on the floor, unless you're sitting with your legs crossed, and that's fine as well. So what I'd like to do is start, I see many of us have glasses, so go ahead and keep your glasses on first. There is one movement we'll take the glasses off, but I want everyone to be able to see first. So one of the things that's happening when we're on our screens a lot is that we're staring straight, whether we're staring at a screen that's close to us or a television that's a little bit further. And our eyes are kind of getting fixed in that straight position. So we're feeling quite a bit of eye strain in that way. So I'd like to offer this first exercise. It's called the clock gaze, where we're taking our gaze up to 12 o'clock, over to 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, and then over to 9 o'clock, and back up to 12. And it's just a way of releasing those eye muscles and getting a little bit more movement in our eyeballs. Yeah? So keeping the head stable, looking forward. We're just going to do this. We'll do 5 rounds. And then once you have the technique, you can do 20 rounds if it feels good for you. And again, I think you all know, but family is welcome to join us, pets and small children, everybody's welcome. So sitting up nice and tall, allowing the breath to just come easy. No need to change your breath. And we'll begin just taking a glance up to 12 o'clock, over to 3 o'clock, down to 6 o'clock, and over to 9 o'clock. Then back up to noon or 12, over to 3, down to 6, over to 9, up to 12. Let's do 2 more rounds, or 3 more rounds. Over to 3, down to 6, over to 9, up to 12, over to 3, down to 6, over to 9, and up to 12. And one more round, over to 3, down to 6, over to 9, and up to 12. Then gently bring your gaze back to center. Take a moment, go ahead and blink the eyes and just notice how that felt. You're sitting down, so if you're feeling a little dizzy, that's okay, we're safe, we won't topple over. But just notice how the eyes feel after doing a little bit of that, yeah? They might feel a little weird because again, we're fixing our focus forward for so often, it's really strange. So it is really helpful every 20 to 30 minutes to take a break from the screens and do one of these exercises. And I know that feels like a lot of time, especially when we have hour-long Zoom meetings. But if you can just take a little bit of a break to take your eyes away from the screen and do the clocks or the other exercises we have, that'll be helpful. So the next one is just a gazing exercise. And I can see some of you are close to a window or you might be able to look outside. So we'll need a little bit of space here. You can stay where you are, but we're gonna gaze far. So again, because we're gazing at screens that are so close to us, it's really good for us to allow our eyes to zoom in and out regularly. So sitting where we are, first we're gonna fix our gaze as far away as we can. So if you're sitting by a window, maybe take a look out and see maybe the furthest point you can still make out. Maybe there's a tree in the distance and a bird up in the tree. Maybe it's a neighbor's house further away. It doesn't have to be up, it can be straight across. But just take that gaze way far out. And then take a moment here, again, just softening the breath. And maybe notice the color of what you're looking at. Maybe the shape or the movement of it. I have a beautiful redwood tree out of my window and there are some hawks that are nesting in that tree. So I like to take a break and look at my hawks. They're mine, by the way. And keep our gaze there, again, about 5 to 10 breaths, allowing the eyes to kind of do that outer scope and zoom out away from our screen. And then we're gonna shift and bring the gaze back into our space, but find a point that's about 6 feet away. So maybe across the room, if you can look into your kitchen or a different room, maybe looking that way. And again, finding something that is about 6 or more feet away. I feel like we should all know exactly what 6 feet apart is. And again, just taking a moment to soften the breath here. Notice what you're looking at. Notice the shape, the colors, any movement. You might be able to make out texture from that far away, but just observing what you're looking at. And again, staying here for about 5 easy breaths or more if that feels comfortable for you. And then we're going to bring our gaze even closer. So I'd like you to extend your arm out nice and long away from you. You can have the palm facing you or away from you. If the palm is facing away, maybe do a little manicure check. And again, we're fixing our gaze this far away. So looking at the palm, taking a moment to soften the breath here, noticing the color of your hand, maybe the texture of your hand, the shape and the movement. And just easy breaths here. And we're just slowly bringing our gaze back in. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release the hand down and bring the gaze back to the screen. Again, that's something every 20 to 30 minutes, you can take a break and you can look further away from your screen, giving your eyes a little bit of time to adjust. You'll notice they're a little fuzzy when you start to look further away. And again, that's because our eye muscles have been shortened while we're sitting here and staring at screens. This next exercise is called the Zoom exercise, and it has a similar concept to the one we just did. But what we're gonna do is extend your arm long and go ahead and give yourselves a thumbs up. And what we're gonna do is take our gaze to the thumbnail. And again, a little mani check. Might have some leftover polish on there. But go ahead and settle your gaze on the thumb. Again, noticing how it feels, how it looks, the temperature, the shape, the texture, the color. And what we're gonna do is keep our gaze fixed on the thumbnail while we slowly inhale to bring that thumb closer to us. All the way in, keeping the gaze on the thumbnail. Now your eyes are gonna cross a little when it gets close to you, and that's okay. Exhale, take the thumb away, keeping the gaze at the thumbnail. Good. Inhale to bring the thumbnail back in. Allowing the eyes to cross and everything behind it to soften. Exhale, taking it out. Let's do 2 more times. Inhale to bring the thumbnail in. Exhale to take it out. And last one, inhale, bringing it close. Exhale, taking it out. Good. Go ahead and release the hand and bring the focus back to the screen. Go ahead and blink the eyes a few times. And now we're gonna do a little bit of a self-soothing exercise, but also a way to really release the eyes in their sockets. So if you have glasses, we're gonna go ahead and take those off. If you still need to see me for a little while, we're gonna keep your glasses on and then you can take them off. But hopefully you can follow my verbal cues. So go ahead and bring the palms together and rub the palms, building a little bit of heat. And then when you're ready, gently placing the base of your palms over the eyes, gently, and then allowing the fingertips to curl over the forehead toward the hairline. And again, just gentle pressure here, allowing the eyes to rest in their sockets. Seeing if you can release the forehead and the cheeks, the tongue and the jaw, relaxing the face here. If you'd like to bring the hands together again to build more warmth, keeping the eyes closed. And then again, placing the palms gently over the eyes. Noticing the weight of the hands on the face. Noticing the warmth of the hands on the face. And let's just do 2 easy breaths here. And then to come out of this posture, we're gonna come out nice and easy. So go ahead and cup your palms over the eyes, allowing a little bit of light to come in. And then maybe blinking the eyes open, fluttering the eyes a little bit with the palms still over them. And then as you're ready, gently releasing the palms away from the eyes. Oh, that one always feels so good. We'll do a kind of a little companion to that one. So go ahead and bring the hands together. You can put the glasses back on if you'd like to. And again, because some of us are having a little headache tension from these screens, go ahead and bring the hands to the sides of your face. Yeah, I think I'll take my glasses off. And again, allowing that warmth to settle into the face, relaxing the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, the tongue, and the jaw. Maybe even allowing the hands to slide down a little bit and relax the cheeks. We look a little funny, but that's okay. It feels good. If it feels good, you can roll into some circles here and give your head a little bit of a rub. Again, just noticing the pressure and the heat from the hands on the face. And again, if you want to warm the hands a little bit more, and bringing them to the sides of the head again. Easy breaths here. And then when you're ready, go ahead and release. We'll do 2 more exercises that are similar. So again, bringing the palms together to warm. This time we're going to bring the left palms to the forehead and the right palms behind the neck. Giving a little bit of pressure on the forehead and a little bit of pressure on the neck. So you're kind of getting a balance. So we're not like pushing the head back or pushing the neck forward, right? And again, taking a moment to soften the breath here. Noticing the weight of the hands on the body and the warmth of the hands. A few easy breaths. Go ahead and release the palms back together to rub again. And this time we'll do the opposite. So bringing the right palms to the forehead and the left palm behind the back of the neck. And again, equal pressure here, allowing the head to be held. Easy breaths, noticing the weight and the warmth. Again, a few easy breaths here. And then go ahead and gently release. And give yourselves a little bit of a shoulder rub here. I know it's kind of hard to keep those arms up sometimes. Giving yourself a little bit of love. And then maybe shaking the head from side to side or back and forth. I like to do yes and no. Really allowing the head to move a little bit. Again, we lock our heads facing forward. So it's really important that we get that little range of motion. Yeah, back and forth and up and down. Good. Let's come back to center. And I wanted to, in the time that we have left, offer a little bit of a guided meditation. So hopefully you feel a little bit relaxed in the neck and the eyes. And again, you can use any of those activities individually, any of those practices individually, or all together in a little sequence. Sometimes it's nice to get them all in. And I like to do that right before I go to bed as well, because again, I'm often on a screen until pretty late at night. And then to kind of allow myself to shut down and get ready for sleep, I do some of those postures as well. That felt good. All right, guys. So again, I wanted to offer this guided meditation on helping us care for others without carrying the weight of others. It's a beautiful practice that many of us are loving, and we're empathetic and we're compassionate and we want to help other people. And sometimes that means sitting in spaces that are uncomfortable with other people or sitting with their pain. Especially right now, I think many of you are probably feeling the frustration and the pain in the world, the panic and the fear. Even if it's not your own, we kind of are absorbing that from those that we love and those around us, and our limited intake of the news, hopefully very limited. So recognizing that we can feel very much like we have to carry the weight of a lot of other people or of the world, right, in general. So this is just a little bit of a guided meditation to help us put down that weight. So if you'd like to sit up nice and tall and close the eyes, you're welcome to. If you'd like to keep the eyes open and softly gaze at the screen, you're welcome to do that as well. But again, just maybe allowing yourself an opportunity to look away from the screen or to soften the gaze down at the floor. And what I'd like you to do is just for a moment, softening the breath, seeing if you can slow down the exhales a little bit. And seeing if you can soften the face, again, just like we did with those exercises, softening the forehead, the eyes, the cheeks, and the jaw. Softening the shoulders away from the ears. And softening the chest and the heart. Allowing the belly to soften as well. which then allows the lower back to rest a little bit. Seeing if we can soften the hips and the hamstrings, releasing the knees and the calves and the shins. And also softening the feet and the toes and the soles of the feet. So allowing the full body just to relax here for a few moments. And what I'd like you to do is bring to mind someone that you care about. It can be a family member, it can be a friend, it can be a client, a student, a colleague. It can be a stranger that you saw in the grocery store the other day. And just bring that person to mind. Try to see them fairly vividly, bringing in as much detail as you can. And you can either do this physically or in your mind's eye, but if you'd like to kind of bring the palms facing up in front of you with the pinkies together, kind of giving your hands, placing your hands into a cup. Or again, you can do this energetically in the mind, but go ahead and place that person into your hands. Place them very gently into your hands, again, in your mind's eye. Allowing them to rest here. And taking a few moments to observe them here in your palms, knowing that they are safe, that they are held, and that they are cared for. And if you'd like to imagine creating a bubble of safety around them, maybe imagining it as a certain color. It can be just a clear bubble, like you would blow bubbles. It can be a purple bubble or a green bubble or a rainbow sparkly bubble. But go ahead and protect them in this bubble. You're drawing a bubble over them as they are safely placed in the palm of your hand. And take a few breaths here just to notice what it feels like to know that they are safe and held and cared for. And maybe taking a few moments to send a message out to them. Again, in the mind's eye, letting them know that they are safe, that they are held, and that they are being taken care of. And now that they are in that bubble of protection, they are safe and held and cared for, we are going to gently release them and release them in their bubble by releasing the hands together. So gently bringing the hands apart, releasing them in their bubble of safety, allowing them to either float off or bounce away. And then gently bringing one hand over your heart and then the other hand on top of that one. And take a moment here to feel the hands on the body. Again, the pressure, the weight, and the warmth. Noticing also what it feels like to have released that person with safety, love, and care into the world with a little bit of protection. Allowing your shoulders to soften. Allowing your heart to soften. And bringing the hands back to the lap. And then gently blinking the eyes open, allowing the light to come back in. Taking a nice deep inhale and exhale. Good. I hope that felt good for you. I know sometimes a practice like this feels like it's not enough when we really want to reach out and care for someone in a very tangible, physical way. And I know for many of us, that's really hard because we can't do that right now. I recently did a parking lot birthday party for one of my friends, and we stayed distant in our cars, but like the urge to hug them was so strong and I couldn't do it. So when I came home, I did that meditation for my friends, and they're all safe. They're fine, but it was more for my own heart to really feel that love and compassion for them until we can touch again. So I want to open the floor, or actually, Roni, I'll give it back to you, and however you want to close us out.
That sounds great. First, I just want to tell you how healing this was for me. I felt not only, first of all, I just felt so held by you, and your voice is so soothing, and you're such a wonderful, beautiful way of leading people through this. It's just really inspiring and just really nice. I felt held, and also wanted to say that there was well, there's so many things, but I needed that right now, and that really, really, really helped me. So thank you for that. And I imagine that so many of our participants got so much from it. So thank you. There was one moment, like when we did the with the hands, and like you said, like put it on your kind of like put it towards your hairline, and I was like, oh, I don't have a hairline. So that was kind of fun. But yeah, just Nicole, thank you so much. That really, it's just such an honor and a privilege to have you be with us. I'm curious, Nicole, before, I know we're out of time, unfortunately. So many people on the chat are saying thank you. I'm wondering, Nicole, do you want to just add any, like, how can people get a hold of you, get in touch with you? Is there any, do you want to just plug anything in?
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm mostly active on Instagram, and I'm at Love Ethic Yoga, and it's underscore between each. So I'll put that on.
Put it in the chat. Yeah.
And I also have a website. It's radical-tendencies.com. Put that on there as well. I also have a podcast. It's called the Steward Project Podcast, and you can find it wherever you get your podcast. So Apple, Spotify, on all those places. And also just this group might be interested. Every Thursday at 4:00 Pacific time. What is that? Eastern, 7:00 Eastern. I'm hosting a Radical Self-Care Collective call on Zoom. And it's really an opportunity for us to get together and share practices like that. I'll facilitate, but if anyone else wants to bring a practice that's worked for them, whether it's a mini dance party or a meditation or a recipe, whatever's working for you, we really want to share during this time. This is really a beautiful opportunity, especially with these connections online, for us to be resourced together and to support each other as we move through this, but also as we get going with what's next. I know there are many educators on here, and I don't know where we go next, and I'm trying not to think too far in the future. But I also know many of us are going to be called on to do that, to put schools back together again and to get kids back onto schedules, ourselves included. So we're going to need lots of energy. We're going to need lots of rest now and all the self-care. So if you'd like to join me, it's 4 p.m. It's a Zoom call. So if you want to email, send me your email. You can get in hold of me on Instagram, or maybe Roni, I can send the link out through you. Yep. And you just hop on whenever you can. It's, there's no attendance being taken. So if you come at 4:30 or, 5 minutes before we end, that's fine as well. So I'd love to see all of your beautiful faces, and thank you for practicing with me.
And it's 4 p.m. Pacific time on Thursdays, correct? Okay, cool. All right, so I'm gonna unmute everyone, and we're gonna say hi, bye to everyone, and also thank you to Nicole. In just a moment, I just want to tell you I am really, really excited about next week as well. Tuesday, I have, I think, a really powerful topic to bring. I'm going to be leading it, and then on Thursday, we have another just incredible guest speaker joining us, who truly is. Anyway, she's been a mentor of mine. She's a friend. She's just so. There's so many amazing things I could say about her, as I could about Nicole. So, Nicole, thanks again. Let me go ahead and just unmute everyone.
Thank you.
Thank you also for being
Thank
here. Yeah.
you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hey.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Bye. Thanks,
Yeah,
Ronnie.
thank you, Daniel.
Nicole.
Bye, Nicole.
Hey.
Hi, Ronnie.
Yeah,
Bye.
bye, guys. Thank you so much for everything. Yeah.
Okay,
Thank
bye.
you.
All right. See you later.
BF4.
Bye. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Thank you
Bye.
for being here, y'all. Thank
Bye,
you, Nicole,
thank
for everything.
Okay, thank
Thanks,
you.
Bernadette. All right, y'all.
you.
See you later. Have a good day.
You
Bye.
too.